wait. Shit. Right. I need to give Rosie control of Olivine here. Give your permission.
What is Wand of Scowls like equipment type? Is it just a trinket?
It's I think it's like a wondrous item.
No, it's a wand common minor tier.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay. So you should. You should.
And it doesn't require attunement.
Yeah, nah.
There we go.
Yeah. Should be good.
Considering it doesn't do more than what a normal wand does, besides make people frown, I don't think it should require attunement anyway.
Yeah. No. So Rosie,
Yes?
can you control Olivine? Can you control Olivine? Okay, good. All right.
She had too much coffee. Ah!
Oh, and I hear you two were dancing.
That's a weird dance. That's a weird dance. They're like fucking 10, 15 feet away from each other, just kind of weirding around. I don't fuck.
Priscilla's just going with the fucking drum, like.
Wee! Yeah, you and your fancy drum. Okay. All right. So you guys get to the port town of Myrick. I do not have a map of it because I figured you're not going to be here long.
Okay, let's investigate this whole town.
Yeah, quick, let's investigate the whole town.
Never assume we're not going to stick around. You have doomed yourself.
No!
Do you really
No, I haven't because you forget you have an objective.
True.
So I mean, if you want to sit there and if you want to ignore that objective, that's your call.
No, we're not gonna ignore it. This is kind of
how many pebbles are in this town?
The first session that I had of Rita's campaign, he's like, I'll prepare a little bit of this. She'll probably go there. And then I ask him, where's your mother, kid?
And Rita was like,
if you want to ask questions like that.
I would like to count every single grain of rice because I'm suddenly a vampire.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose we just. Which place was this again? I forget.
Right. We need maybe it'd be good for with a recap, Mr. DM.
Yeah, sure.
That might be nice.
All right. Yeah, because it has been a while. So, last session, you guys ended up dealing with the. Wait, was it? Hang on. It's all blending together. Give me a minute to separate things.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. So last session, you guys ended up, like the session before that, you ended up leaving the cave after witnessing the possible revival of a very old dragon by an individual that none of you really recognized or anything. Because you made your way back to the village of Delay and found out that the mayor had been taken away, and that the tavern keep was in charge now, and that she was actually a dragon, which your characters at least would know that was a thing. Anyway, so you make she informs you that that's bad. So she sits there and she hands you a letter, which would essentially get you an audience with the queen. So that way you can go and inform her of what's happening and all that stuff. So you make your way to the south to the port city of Myrick, coming across some little fucking murder chickens, cockatrices, chasing some people. You come across some gnolls selling a variety of things. different trinkets. You find a few magical items and whatnot in there that they didn't quite realize were more important than they seemed. And you came across a traveling.
In the bathroom when I woke up, it looked like that little bitty. Oh, sorry, I turned my mic on by accident.
Yeah, we call next to nothing what you said.
Wait, me?
No, Yami.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. And you also encountered a traveling band of like little wormling dragons being led around by an older dragon, just kind of bopping around, traveling, getting used to people. Had a bit of an interaction with them. But yeah, for the most part, your travels were relatively quiet, peaceful.
Yay!
And after about, I think I said it was like a week or two. I can't recall the exact amount of time.
I think it was 2 weeks.
Yeah, but after about 2 weeks, you guys arrive safely to the port town of Merrick.
Yay!
Merrick.
Merrick.
Okay. So. So, what would you guys like to do first? You've been on the road for about 2 weeks.
Well, I imagine it would make sense to try to find a way towards the damn boat.
Refresh my memory again. What exactly was the suggestion from Lila that led us here?
It wasn't so much a suggestion. Oh, okay. I think I get what you mean. It's faster to get to. It's quicker to get to the capital this way than it is to get to. Than it is to go around.
Yeah, so we need to get to the capital to see the queen.
The queen.
Okay?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yep, to get to an audition with the queen.
Yes.
Right. That's what we needed to do. I forgot a bit.
All right. Yeah. So you're gonna try to find a boat.
Yeah.
We
It's what it
Eh.
is, so.
take the time to rest in one of the inns here, maybe wash up so we don't smell.
Yep.
Well, I can just press yes. I can press yes clean. So there's that.
I'm not sure that. I'm not
Fuck you.
sure that's. I'm not sure that's. Ideal. It helps, but.
Why? Prestidigitation bath. It's just like spend like 10 minutes prestidigitationing the other.
I mean, it'll
player
get you
here.
clean. It'll get you not
Yeah,
smelly,
exactly.
but you know.
Feels weird.
It feels weird.
You just stand still for 10 minutes and you're like, you're clean now.
Oh, okay.
What? No.
Ferris is just like, why are you touching me?
It wouldn't be a touch. It's just like prestidigitation.
You snap your fingers.
You just snap your fingers repeatedly for 10 minutes and then everyone's clean. It's like, ow,
Yeah.
now my hand hurts. Fuck.
That's when I used that's when I switched to the other hand.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, probably rest up, probably go and take a bath or something. Like a proper one, not a pressy one. And yeah. Then probably
Okay.
look for a boat, since we
All right.
probably don't want to keep the queen waiting.
What time did we arrive at the town?
It's probably, I wouldn't say early morning, but it is morning time. Sun's out. Probably between 8 and 11.
Hide will follow you.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we
it's-
should
so it's-
probably
it's
stick
morning?
together until we decide what tavern we're in.
Yep.
So you find a few different taverns of varying qualities. Not hard. Are you just looking for something basic, or are you wanting something fancier?
Well, if it's early morning, I assume we'd be relatively well rested, so we'd only just need to enough room of a room long, basically an eatery to just a quick morning meal and a wash up.
Yeah. Okay.
That'd be my
So
assumption, at least.
okay.
Unless the rest have other ideas with that.
Hey, I'm fine if we buy one room. So each of us can take a bath.
If that's what you want to do. Okay, so for the
Hmm.
one room, I don't know how you want to divide this, but for the one room, it would be 5 silver. And then for each of you, for a meal, it would be 3 silver.
Mm.
So
Hyde
we
would
all
stick
pitch
around
in.
Priscilla, for obvious reasons.
So, oh, okay. So actually, no, that's perfect. There's 5 of you, and it's 5 silver, so it would be 4 silver apiece.
I literally don't have any silver, so I just use a gold coin.
Okay.
Who's paying?
They'll give you the 6 silver back.
Yeah. Priscilla gives the 4 gold as well. Or 4 silver.
Did we all have to pay
Four.
individually?
Yes, 4 silver each individually for the food in the room.
Okay. I had.
There's paid his.
Maybe not. Knowing this, I'll probably spend most of my time around Priscilla, but I will be nearby seeing if I can look for any source of income.
What do you mean by source of income?
Some sort of odd job or favor that I can do for some gold.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Hello, peanut gallery Rudolph.
Anyway, it's easy enough. You guys sit there and you pay for the room. You get some food. Take turns bathing. Take turns bathing in the room and whatnot. As for your thing, Rosie, yeah, they've got some stuff there. Some basic stuff. Pretty much just like I wouldn't call it a bounty board, but kind of like just a job board.
Something we can do quickly.
You
know, since we're not planning to stay very long, it's something to do.
Lay a dragon. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I've got card skills.
You can try to gamble with some of the people there.
Well, not necessarily gamble per se, but yes.
Well, I mean, what do you mean not gamble? If you're trying to play cards for money, that's gambling.
Just kind of temp work as a dealer.
That let me persuasion.
Persuasion?
Yeah, see if anyone's like, oh, okay, sure, why not?
I mean, I'll demonstrate my skills for him, but yeah. How do persuasion? Let's see. That's a dirty 20.
All right, yeah, sure. They'll pay you. You find a group that's kind of willing to throw a few silver your way.
Yay!
So now
Darius is gonna search for a specific item.
Okay.
And
let's
Amron
see.
is just focusing on the task at hand.
Okay. So let's see. Wouldn't be. Okay. Let's see. Roll me a d12.
Me?
Yeah.
There's a d10, d12. 5.
Okay.
No, 1, apparently.
Yeah, no, it's 1. it. It's okay. Yeah, you sit there, you spend a little while essentially playing dealer. You make like you make the equivalent of 1 gold worth of silver, so 10 silver, right? 10
Yay.
gold.
Okay.
What item were you looking for? I think I know what you're talking about, but just to confirm.
Me?
Okay. Roll investigation.
Happens.
Yeah, you find like a trinket shop selling one, a couple. They got like a few different colors. It looks like some of them have been dyed.
Oh shoot. Probably a natural colored one.
All right. Easy enough. Just like 5 copper. Okay, so you all spend some time just kind of bopping around, waiting for everyone to sit there and finish bathing and eating and all that fun stuff.
I wasn't
Eventually,
expecting to find one.
well, I mean, trinket shops. What you gonna do? But yeah, eventually you all finish up what you were doing and meet back up at the inn, all now freshened up, full. So, where do you go from there?
Well, only one place from here, really.
Oh, okay. So you head south to the docks.
What before we head out though, I'll
Yep.
and at some point, just when we were in the tavern, I will have looked into my book.
The G book.
Yes.
It's still the same.
Just to be sure. Other
Yeah,
than that, nothing much else to do. So.
I mean, it doesn't really hurt to check every now and then.
Hmm.
So, yeah, you head south to the docks. It isn't too difficult to sit there and find essentially a ferry over to the main city. It's a very common thing. So, it will cost you. Let's see. It'll
We
cost.
had a pass.
Oh, you're right. You did have a pass. Yeah, no, you're allowed on for free.
Yeah.
Because of your path. So, yeah, they, you get on the boat and you're told it'll only be maybe 2 hours or so, because it's not too far from. It's a fairly short trip. Leave it at that. So, you guys sit there and you board the ferry. Takes a little while for them to get ready and kick off, but eventually you make your way across the I guess it'll be a lake. Across the lake to the city of Zervalis. It does not take long. You're on the boat for maybe an hour.
Ooh.
And as you're traveling across the lake, and you get closer, you see a variety of other different ferries and boats coming and going. You also, as you get closer, you notice more and more. You notice a lot of dragons in the air. Like I said, coming, going, stuff like that. As you get closer, it becomes busier and busier, stuff like that. You can see people heading off to the east. Just it seems like it's a fairly busy
Hey,
lake
she's here.
area, stuff like that.
Hey, welcome in.
For my alarms.
Oh, perfect. All right, yeah, that works.
Took you long enough.
Yeah, we started a little bit. You didn't miss anything other than
Important.
we did a little bit of work, get some money. Sorry, I did. and
Well, I
then
mean,
we left.
yeah. So you guys just stopped at an inn to freshen up, and then made your way to the boats, and now you're on your way to the capital. So
I plan
we'll
to
just
be
wait
there.
for you to
Hooray, boat ride.
Yeah. It like I told them, it's only a short 2-hour boat ride. It doesn't cost you anything because of the letter. And as you're kind of traveling across the lake, you notice it's a fairly busy area. You see boats coming and going from from Myrick. You see boats coming in from the east, going to the east. And as you get closer to the capital, you notice a lot of dragons and stuff overhead, flying every which way, stuff like that. Just a generally busy area.
This is so cool.
So cool.
This is so cool. Priscilla's kind of just gawking over the edge of the ferry.
Hyde just kind of grabbed a little bit around your clothing a little bit, just kind of like careful.
Yeah, don't fall into the water.
Just make sure you don't get somehow flung over me, because you seem to be awfully accident prone.
Yeah. Gotta watch out for them birds, man. They got hollow bones.
Uh-huh. Please no.
So before we proceed, I'm gonna just wait until Ozzy gets into Foundry here, just so that way everyone's in. Oh wait,
We don't have the tokens in, by the way. Is that?
Yeah, no, hang on. No, it is not intentional. It's not from moment.
La, la,
Dropping everything.
There's a
Okay,
come
so
over. Come on.
Ooh, that's a lot of fucking buildings. Jesus Christ.
just
A lot
a
of gray
minute.
for me right now.
Let me-
Yeah. Hey, this is what we somehow arrived in Silent Hill.
Okay, so yeah, you all should.
Are you sure we're not just supposed to be in Silent Hill?
It's just fog right now. Static.
Shouldn't be. Are you? Is anyone else having issues?
Let me refresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just gray right now.
Yeah, I'm hitting refresh too.
Yeah, adventure
From
change.
for me, I see a town
That's
I
weird.
used to.
I was in town too.
or a city.
I used to.
I now have.
Fucking...
Oh! There we go.
Zoom out, guys, to see if like you're
There
just
we
staring
go.
at a.
Well,
Like before the grid wasn't even there.
ah. Okay. That's weird. All right. All right. So you all sit there and you all make your way off the boat. This is a lot busier than the port that you found that you were at Myrick. You see dozens, possibly hundreds of ships coming, going, being loaded, unloaded, people coming, going, all that stuff. Overhead, you see an equal number of dragons just kind of flying about. You know, occasionally you'll see one dive down, and essentially they'll kind of like swoop semi-low to the ground before sitting there and changing to a more humanoid form to continue on their way. You know, they'll do the same thing but in reverse, where they just kind of like, you know, they start off in their humanoid form and then they just kind of like fly off, stuff like that. Just a lot of people coming and going, you know, busy. So you are approached by the captain of the ship, as he was informed of the. He would obviously know that you were boarded for free because of the letter that you had. He sits there and he approaches you. It is a older human man, gray hair, bit of stubble. He sits there and he approaches you. Well, I know why you're here, so I'm not going to bore you with the details, but any of you ever been here before?
Have we?
Nope. First time.
Priscilla, it would probably be the first time. Olivine has been here before.
Yeah, I would
Abenalman has been
assume.
here
I was
before.
gonna say I would assume I have been.
Yeah, I assume all the ones been here. So.
Hyde Hyde and Priscilla probably haven't been here before. Everyone else has either been here before, a few times, or knows the area pretty well.
First time.
Oh, well, congratulations, girl. You are a girl, right? I can never tell with you, Kenku, sometimes. Anyway.
Cox outside.
Anyway, well, I guess since some of you since some of you have been here before, you won't be needing directions from me, but just in case, the palace isn't hard to see. He points off to the south. From here, it's actually incredibly easy to see. You see a large, even from here, ornate building, pretty much atop a hill in the center of city, surrounded by a wall. Just head on over there. That letter should get you through. Anyway, you all take care. And he boards a ship again.
You all take care.
He kind of sits there and jumps just a little bit as he sits there, and he hears that. He doesn't turn back, but he does jump a little bit.
Take care.
That one just sort of waves.
Ooh. This is so big. It's the biggest city I've been in.
Hyde nods.
As you take a look around, Priscilla, and just kind of taking in everything, you notice that you notice a variety of different, like from here, like different shops and stalls, and what kind of catches your eye the most is you can see, fuck it, for the lack of better words, creatures of just about every different race. You see, like, humans, obviously, and like dwarves, gnomes, halflings, more common folk like that. But you see a couple that you wouldn't necessarily think would be in the city. Like, you do see a couple of gnolls walking around. You see some goblins, kobolds, like more what would be considered monstrous races by, I guess, normal D&D standards. But yeah, you see like this whole like mishmash of just different like races and species of creatures, just like all kind of walking around, mingling, and just in general being like acting like normal people.
Bingu-lingu.
And it's not a monster city per se. It's just a
No,
city with monsters.
no.
Right.
It's just like I said, you see like gnolls, kobolds, goblins,
Humans, halflings as well.
humans, halflings. Pretty much, you sit there and you look around and you just see like something of like somebody of everything. Sad Molo
Somebody
noises
of
how he
everything.
referring to as monsters. Yeah.
That's good.
Well, I mean, technically, like I said, it's just according to D&D rules.
Malo,
Yeah.
scary monster. Ah. That's not an insult.
Molo would be right at home in here. Can I deposit Molo in here?
Finally!
Just
Malo's people.
just grab Molo out of the other campaign and just.
Yep.
No more stupid, bad eyesight human.
Wait, who's the bad eyesight human?
One.
Humanoid.
Oh, okay, all right. Anyway, so
Yeah.
from here, where would you like to go?
Well,
The castle. You can head there immediately. I'm just saying, I'm giving you options.
I mean,
The
yeah,
city is
there
open
is
to you.
Are we in
there's
the time limit?
technically options, but it'd be smart to just not to keep the queen waiting.
Okay.
So, like, technically, you don't have to shoot yourself in the foot. You don't have to shoot yourself in the head. But
Yeah.
Do we have an
The cool-
idea? Do I have any idea when we're expected or anything?
You, as far as you are aware, you aren't necessarily expected. It's just you have been given a letter to go and see the queen. So at this point, you don't know. You don't know if you're expected. You were told specifically just go and see her as soon as you can.
Well,
So it's not
we're-
like it's not like you have to go, like you have to sit there and you have to bolt over there, but it probably wouldn't be a good idea to sit there and decide to go and spend a month learning how to use a new tool or something.
Gotcha.
But Leela sent word ahead of us.
She did, but like you
Right.
said, you don't know. You don't
Right,
know. Like,
so-
a bunch of
okay.
variables that could come up during travel technically, but
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just gonna.
anyway,
I'm gonna do
I
this.
suppose we're just gonna head straight there.
First, though.
best operate under the assumption that they know we're coming and they're probably ready to receive us at any time.
and and we'd assume they probably would know we were on that ferry.
Probably. So they know we're in town.
Okay. So, as you're traveling, Priscilla gets poked by Little Hyde.
What? Oh. Priscilla just turns around and pokes her in the beak.
When you turn around, just you see her with her book out, and there's a new sentence. I'm typing it.
Okay. What are you typing?
I make your toys.
Yeah. I
I
How's
can't
it
get a
going?
Jigsaw voice.
How to
know.
fight them?
Although to be fair, yeah. Although
To be fair, he used an electronic-
he used electronic modification to make that voice. So it's like, I mean, I'm sure some people would be able to do it, but it's like,
Which,
I feel
given
like
what he
idea, but
did, it would be dumb if he didn't modify his voice.
yeah.
Hey guys! Shouldn't we look for an inn or something to stay at first?
Maybe we should go to the castle first, since we have to do that together.
Yeah. I was just thinking because it looks so busy. So we
Which is
might not.
precisely why we should go to the castle first.
So you make your way
Right.
through the city.
Wait,
Yeah.
I just scribbling.
Yeah, I know. It's taking no offense to Rosie or her typing skills, it's just taking a little bit longer than I was expecting. Just a little bit. So we
Figure
have
out what I wanna write.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for the fucking Eino campaign thing. I'm like, wait, why is it taking so long? I'm fucking. God damn it.
I'm using
okay.
I'm using Foundry.
Okay, good. Okay, cool. I'll keep that in mind.
Don't worry, Burby. I'm sure we'll find something after. We'll find something after we get to the castle as well.
Ruby.
Hoping that they won't eat us.
Is that a bird? Is that a bird? Is that a bird themed Furby?
A Burby.
Yeah, bird themed. Well, I mean, Furbies are kind of bird-like anyway.
True.
It's
Anyway.
a bed.
Bub.
So you make your way to the you make your way to the capital, passing by a lot of different stores and buildings, residences, people, all sorts of stuff. It's obviously a very busy city. Eventually, obviously, you do get to the more noble area, where you find fancier houses. And you make your way to the front gates of the castle. They are open, so you're free to just walk right in. However, as you enter the is it foyer? I have
don't
no
know.
idea what the fuck that. Oh, never mind. I was like, fucking right. Okay, that's what that is. I was like,
Yep.
I have no idea what the fuck you just said.
Oh. Nobles.
Anyway, the non-plebeian spelling of nobles. Nobles.
Neighbors.
Anyway,
Nurbles.
Nurbles.
Anyway.
Anyway, as you make your way into the foyer, you are essentially think of it like if any of you if you've ever been to like oh, how would you put it? Like a government building where they've got like the place where you go to like check in and stuff like that.
The reception lobby.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the reception lobby. That's the word, reception.
Indeed.
But yeah, so you see a bunch of different individuals all at their own fancy little desks. Most of them appear to be surprising. Most of them appear to be either draconic-looking humans or kobolds.
Describe
so-
draconic looking.
Like it would look like a person with draconic features. So like they might have like they would have like the eyes of a dragon. They would probably have like horns or like like frills, tails, wings.
But not dragonborn.
You do see a couple of dragonborn there as well. But like
So it's probably a safe
dragonborn-
assumption that these might be transformed dragons. Based on
transformed
how
dragons
different they
or
look.
just kobolds and dragonborn, draconic individuals. Yes, now it is time for the ultimate introduction of the kobold race in my mind.
Ugh.
Here we go. You make your way up to one of the you are essentially called up to one of the desks. Behind it is what appears to be a little let's see, what color should this one be? Fuck it. A little white kobold. Very, very sharply dressed. And they sit there and they look up to you. They sit there and they look at you from across the desk, in a chair that is very clearly too big for them. With a desk that is very clearly too big for them. And they're like, let's see.
Kailan mo matukin?
Oh.
Down here.
Oh, okay. Weird. Anyway, but yeah, they just kind of look at you and they're like, "Hi!"
I'm not doing that voice, but I was doing it back.
Do it! Do it!
Hey!
I have intentionally.
And no.
I played I've got a kobold in my other campaign, and I've made him fucking annoying as shit with his voice. And I don't know why.
You
But in my
kobolds.
mind, I feel like kobolds would have this fucking annoying, like weird, like almost high pitched voice.
Screechy voice.
How do-
a screechy voice.
Why do you think I roleplay Boa as I do?
It's fucking great. And it says,
And Priscilla goes, "Hi!" at the cold with her arms in the air.
he sits there and he looks a little annoyed by that. Not you, but like fucking like just the situation you and Hyde sitting there. He sits there, he's just like, "Are you making fun of me?"
I just shake her head. And for the record, she was perfectly straight face when she did it.
I imagine. Priscilla, do you have anything to say?
I mean, the voice is fun, but I wasn't making fun of you. I mean, if you think you're making fun of me, then does that mean that you're making fun of yourself?
What do you want?
What?
What
I
do
said,
you want?
what? Yeah, what do you want?
I didn't even fucking hear what she said.
Annoying kobolds for the
It's
win.
like,
Priscilla, the big brain questions.
Yeah.
yeah. And Priscilla goes, the Cedar Queen.
See the queen.
Seeing the queen requires an audience. Do you have any kind of paperwork or anything?
And Priscilla kind of just spins around 180 degrees and walks straight to Olivine, and kind of just ducks down to her height and be like,
Which of us has? I forget.
Yeah.
Which of us has the paperwork?
All of you.
Oliver just points to Hyde
Oh, Hyde has it?
because Hyde has it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought
Yeah,
Oliver had it.
okay.
I'm just kind of nonchalantly pulling it out.
Okay. So do you hand it to the little kobold?
Yes.
Well, plus it's more fun that the Kenku has such official paperwork anyway.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sits there and he like grabs it and opens it. And
Paperwork or
sits there and
something.
he looks it over, and he sits there and he's like, oh. And he hops down. A moment. And he walks away. And he comes back a few minutes later with a couple of guards, wearing. You could tell that you would have been walking as you would have walked through the city. You would have seen a variety of guards, wearing more general like chainmail, stuff like that. But these guys are very clearly wearing like very finely made like plate armor. These guys are like they're not like they don't look like normal people. They're taller than all of you, from what and all that stuff, and they're wearing like I said, very finely made plate mail.
So they're wearing fancy regalia.
Yeah. You're all fancy schmancy, right? Go in front.
Oh my!
Remember to move
In
yourselves. To
Yeah, in halfling.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
That's mostly for like when you guys split up, so that way I have an idea of where everyone is. Right now, there's essentially like one token right here that's the group token, because you are all together.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah, that's the group token because you're all together right now, so I figured,
I
all right,
assumed
it's
that
better
that's what
to have
that
it
was.
way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So he sits there and he says, "These two will lead you in."
Roger, Roger.
He sits there and he sits there and he politely bows. Sorry for any kind of misunderstanding.
Olivine shrugs. That's fine.
Cockhead.
Priscilla trying to make
Thumbs up.
justice to this hilarious voice the best she can goes, no problem.
There you go. He's just like, and he gets back up he like crawls back up in his chair.
Well, let's just try not to laugh at this.
Hey, how do you have this kind of as she kind of bites her tongue while she's trying to like ask the kobold and
No worries. It's only business after all. Ebenharan says while keeping a straight face while internally he's chuckling over the situation. I don't know how to do an internal laugh, but
Kobo's just kind of like Kobo's just kind of getting like annoyed and flustered. He's just like, "Meh."
It's like
As you're trying to like
Chad is low key making fun of me, and I know it.
exactly.
the more he gets flustered, the more Priscilla kind of just becomes cat-like and goes closer, kind of look at, inspect this kobold, be like, how do you speak with that? How do you speak like that?
It's just my voice. Go away. You have an audience. Just go talk to the
Rob.
queen. I got work to do.
grabs Priscilla and starts dragging away.
You don't see.
As she's dragged, Priscilla just goes like, "You'd be a great fake hand puppet."
You
Wait,
just see
what is
Hyde
it?
looking at. You just see Hyde looking at the couple with two uneasy thumbs up.
It's like
All of us like mocks or like mimics the gesture and also gives 2 thumbs up silently.
He just like his head just drops onto the desk. You hear thump.
Olivine grins and just kind of walks over to join Evan and Emron.
You'll make for a great fake hand puppet. Right. Okay. So you are escorted by these two armored individuals through the halls and whatnot until eventually like as you're traveling through the halls you see fewer and fewer people as they lead you further into the palace until eventually they lead you to a set of rather large doors. These doors look like they look about 30 feet wide by maybe about 40 feet tall. Very large doors. They sit there and you can see 2 guards to either side of this door, and one of the guards heads off to speak with one of them. They're speaking in a language. None of you speak Draconic, right? I believe none of you speak Draconic in this instance.
Yep.
Pretty sure I don't.
Nope,
Yeah.
nobody speaks Draconic. We
Okay,
established
so
this.
they sit there and okay. So they all sit there and they start, they have a brief conversation. And one of that, he comes back and he sits there and he says, "Apologies, but you will have to wait. It appears as if the queen is currently in the middle of something."
Currently in the middle of something. However, she does kind of cock her head and nod.
Olivine
Right.
also nods.
A prior audience. It should not be long now.
Evan shrugs and just leans against the wall, making himself as comfortable as he can be while waiting.
Far be it for us to rush royalty. It's fine, we'll be here.
Okay. So, Abanamra, because you have a passive of fucking 18. Right? Yeah, you got a passive perception of no, it's plus your charisma mod. So yeah, it's 18 at this point. So yeah, with your passive of 18, through what you can only assume to be these thick wooden doors, you hear what you believe to you hear what you believe to be fighting, possibly. It sounds like it sounds like a lot of
My passive's
I'm
pretty
not super sure. I'm not super sure how else to describe it.
Suspiciously combat-y noises.
Yeah,
18 whiz.
suspiciously combat-y noises.
I have a passive perception of
14.
14. Okay.
I have 15.
Did you say it was behind doors or?
It sounds like it's coming from behind the big doors.
Would Olivine have noticed any of this in the slightest?
These doors are very thick, are very dense and heavy. So the only reason I'm letting Abanamran know this is because he's got a passive of 18. He can't make out voices. He can't make out voices or anything. It's all very faint, but he hears what sounds like maybe the occasional metal against metal and maybe heavy scuffing of metal on stone, stuff like that kind of noises.
Would there be room for me to send my Raven to investigate?
No, unless no, not in this case. There's no windows leading in from this side.
In that case, just going to just keep listening and just watching and looking in its direction.
Okay. After about 5 minutes or so, you hear a rather loud thud against the door.
We too?
The guards, you all hear it. It sounds like something pretty heavy, like slammed against the inside of the door.
Olivine just kind of does a little jump, not expecting a sudden slam against the door. She's standing next.
Is there a problem?
Abaddon just raises his eyebrow at that.
So the guards seem unfazed by this, but the two on the side away from where the the thud was. So like if you're looking at the door, like you would have heard the thud on like the left side of the door. And they sit there, and one of the two of them sit there and almost like effortlessly like push the side of the door in. They walk in and close it, come back out after a few seconds, and they look over, they approach all of you and they say, one of them sits there and says, "The queen will see you now."
Okay.
Can I insight?
What are you trying to learn?
I'm trying to learn whether this is an everyday occurrence or like, is there malice at all?
Roll insight.
Olivine's also going to insight check to see if there's anything unusual about their demeanor.
Yeah,
You
doing the same thing.
Yeah, you have no idea, Hi. You're just like, hey.
Doing the same thing because I would presume my business in the area would mainly be within faction.
Okay. Priscilla, same thing. You're just kind of like, okay.
Okay.
Abenamrin and Abenamrin and Olivine especially. This does not seem to bother him. So you can make the assumption that this is something that they probably experience quite often.
Olivine just looks up to Abenamron and just shrugs.
Passive face, just an impassive face about it.
It's like,
All right, so they open the door, the side of the door for you, the one side of the door for you. And as you go to enter, what you see something fly past you. Something about human-sized. So you see something vaguely human-sized just fly past you, and then you hear what sounds like metal scraping on stone.
Olivine takes a look to see what this flying humanoid object was.
Can I tell what the human-like object was?
Yeah, you sit there, you take a look over to where the noise was / stopped. And you see this guy, you see this individual in what looks like was once pretty good armor, but now is like, you can see like cut marks, like huge dents. This armor has been fucking ruined, from what you can see. Laying on the floor, like just kind of laying on the floor, trying vainly almost to like back away from the opposite from where he flew. Off to the left, you take a look over to the left, and you see a woman with vaguely, like, you can see that she's got like she's got horns. She has a dragon-like tail, and two, she's got like dragon type wings. She is wearing a set of gleaming golden armor. She is not armed, however. But you see this individual with all those features. She's got like this dark gold hair is the best way I can describe it. But dark gold hair, tan skin, and her eyes like they're gold as well, but they seem to like almost like glow. You see her sit there and begin to slowly make her way over to this individual. crossing in
Did this
front
person
of you.
come out of the throne room?
They're in the throne room. This is the throne
Oh.
room. Yeah, this is the throne room.
So this
You
just kind
can
of
see the
happened like
throne
right
room
next
side.
to us as we came in.
What was that?
So did this just sort of happen to us like
You
right as we
open.
came
All
in?
right, so you open. The door was open, and like when the door opens, you all start to walk in, and you see this dude fly past you off just to your like over to your right. You see this dude fly past you over to your right. You look at him, and then you look over, and you see this very angry-looking woman in, gold plate armor start to make her way over towards this guy.
All right, just making sure that I knew what was happening.
Well, no, everyone's
Or
passed.
what was happening, I should say.
Can I roll insight on the angry woman?
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can. You all have a high enough passive for this. But you can see that her gauntlets are covered in blood.
Do I
Also,
think
Always
this is a
gonna kind
queen?
of like slowly look back to like the attendant that opened the door, and then speak telepathically to them. The queen wouldn't happen to be having a very bad day, would she?
There's silence for a moment, and he says, "Just watch your tongue, and you'll be fine."
Allwine just replies, "Duly noted."
Anyway, people said they were rolling insight, and I'm waiting for the insight rolls.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
I just assumed based on what you said about everyone's passive being high enough.
Oh no, that was for
I'm-
perception. That was for perception. That was perception. That bitch looked mad.
I don't need to guess what the queen's thinking right now. I'm gonna do the attendant's thinking.
Yeah.
Insight checker.
Okay. Yeah, she looks genuinely fucking. Like, she looks agitated. She doesn't look like Olive. Like Hyde's sitting there like. She looks mad, but the rest of you are just kind of like. She doesn't look like super like pissed off or anything. She just looks more like annoyed, agitated.
Would I think that this is the queen?
You can. All right. So, essentially, the only individuals inside are a dude on the far side of the room, just kind of standing there. This woman and that guy. So, it's probably safe to assume that that is the queen.
And what is Olivine gleam from the response from the attendant?
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty sure that he seems like he knows what he's talking about. As long as you're not like rude or anything, she shouldn't. As long as you're not like rude or, don't try to make yourself seem all big and tough or anything. You should be fine.
Is there a problem?
As she sits there and as she walks like in front of you and she sits there and she says you say that to her. She sits there and she looks down at you. She's got a very intense, determined look in her eyes, and she sits there and she looks down at you specifically, Hyde. And she just says, "Just a moment. I will be done with this momentarily." As she sits there and she continues on towards this individual that you can see is very clearly trying to crawl towards the wall away from her.
Olive just kind of like shifts aside a bit, putting a little more distance away from this guy.
Just staying away from that. What was that one lady's name again? From that sent us here in the first place?
Leela.
Leela.
Yeah. Hey, Priscilla, ask her what she's doing. It's like, I don't want to talk to her. Fuck that. Okay, so she eventually, she sits there and she gets up to this dude. This dude looks beat to hell. And And she sits there and she like essentially like grabs him by like the neck, like where the like pretty much like she grabs his plate mail, like right where his neck, like where his clavicle.
Like the
And she
neck protector.
No, yeah, pretty much. And she sits there and she just lifts him up. And she sits there. She lifts him up, and you hear her say, "Next time you or any of your friends get any funny ideas like this, do tell them that they won't get off so easily. Also, send my regards to your master." As she sits there and she then proceeds to walk over towards the door, she just pushes the side of the door that was still closed open and she just yeets this motherfucker down the hall. She sits there and she looks over to one of her guards. "Get him out of here. And make sure he doesn't die this time." As she
Mine steps forward and kind of clears her throat. Excuse me, Your Majesty. If we might ask, what did that guy do?
She
She
stops.
says, raising an eyebrow.
She stops as she was like heading towards the obviously towards the other end of the room, towards the throne. And she sits there and she turns like so that way her side is facing you. She just kind of turns to face you a little bit. "That weakling decided it was a good idea to attempt to try to I suppose common folk would say seduce me."
Olivine just like has like the biggest like forced frown, but in a way you can tell just like it's pretty obvious that you can see that Olivine's thinking like, wow, that guy had a bad idea.
Someone casts a time stop on Priscilla. She's still frozen.
Like it's
She's-
just painted on Olivine's face like, wow.
Yeah, she makes her way back to the throne, and then the individual that was on the far side sits there and approaches you all. He's wearing similar, like, kind of gold-themed robes. He looks very official. This guy, he's got, like, he looks like a green half-dragon. So imagine a green half-dragon. And he sits there and he approaches all of you and he says, "Apologies for the, situation. The queen has been well, there have been many suitors these last few weeks, and she has begun to become agitated."
Olivine shrugged.
No problem.
Indifferent shrug.
She sits there and she kind of like he moves a bit closer and he sits there and as the guards kind of close the doors, he sits there and he whispers quietly, "As long as you don't speak out of turn or disrespectfully, you should not draw her ire. Also, little one." He looks down to you, Hyde. He looks down to you. "Do not imitate her voice. She may take it as a sign of disrespect."
Priscilla
Nuts.
grabs Hyde and just grabs her beak and just nudges it up and down, just as she's shaking her head up and down as well. Like, yes, Will.
I understand the situation is a little intense, but don't worry. She shouldn't bother any of you. No offense, but she only tends to interact with those that she deems as worthy, at least in combat. You don't exactly strike me as strong individuals. At least not in comparison to her.
That's really.
And she drops hide.
Olivine nods. Yeah, I'd say that goes without saying, but what do you do, right?
Indeed.
But the warning is appreciated nonetheless. Thank you.
He politely bows, and he makes his way back over. She is now sitting on her throne. It's just kind of like she's kind of like cross-legged, just kind of leaning one head over on her. Like she's got one arm, like she just kind of like resting her head on the arm of her, like in her hand on the arm of her throne.
She's just kind of like resting her face on her fist or something.
Yeah, pretty much. But her fucking gauntlets are fucking bloody as shit.
And not a single fuck was given.
Nope. Anyway, she sits there and she looks over you all as you approach. Anyone wants to see a badass execution? Any suitors? And she sits there and she says, I am mute. As Kenku, I can imitate voices only out of respect. I will resolve to write. Thank you for your patience. Okay. All right. He sits there. She sits there and she says, so, you are the ones that Lila mentioned. Well, welcome to the palace, I suppose. State your business. Unfortunately, as of late, I have been a rather busy woman.
Amran just gives us a summary of everything that we know so far, including a summary of what his mission to that town was from.
When you sit there and you would have mentioned the name Zimber, right?
Oh yeah, Olivine would also fill in the details along with that, Nebron. Essentially, two going back and forth.
Okay, so whichever one of you sits there and mentions when one of you sits there and mentions the name Zimber,
That'd probably be Olivine.
Okay, she sits there and she straightens up. Like you watch her straighten up, and you watch her go from being like this kind of like kind of face to more of a serious, like, interest, almost. Roll me insight.
Dude. I wish you would just.
Natural 17. No, it's
No,
not.
Why is my fucking thing over there?
Why is it?
Like-
Okay, this is the second time where it has rolled and then just bumped over to something else.
Don't ask. It's just there. There. Now you're all over here, for the sake of convenience, so that way you stop teleporting over there.
We're giants raiding the castle.
3-5 bum. I smell something over dumb.
So
Quick, jump into the D20.
Olivine, you would notice she becomes like she gets this look in her eye almost of like it's subtle but almost like worry or panic. You sit there and you mention the name Zimber, and she sits there and she sits up straight and she like leans in, almost like listening in. Like she leans in and like you at least you see like this almost like faint worry or panic in her eye.
Olivine just pauses briefly as she was, describing, what we had seen, and raises an eyebrow. And are you all right, Your Majesty? You look a little perturbed. I mean, I'm not one too familiar with, draconic history and that of rulers, as this would be far before my time, but it would appear that the name Zimber strikes a chord with you, perhaps in a concerning way.
You can all see her kind of grit her teeth, and the green half dragon sits there And he's starting to look a little panicked himself. Anyway, she sits there and she like grits her teeth. I have not heard that name in centuries. I do not. Clearly, none of you would know of him. But if he is involved in any way, this is far more dire than some idiot bringing back a dead dragon.
Question.
Yes. Sorry, go on.
What's your
Would the name Auralia have been mentioned alongside with her description?
Would you have mentioned Auralia or Zimber first?
Zimber, because that's the relevant information.
Okay.
All right.
The sorceress, I believe, that had raised this, remains of this Zimber, she was very zealous, very fanatical. Like I don't think like a cult would quite give the description that just how out there this woman was.
Megalomaniac murderer.
That's one way to put it.
Murderer.
What was her name?
Auralia. And Priscilla gives a point-to-point, extremely detailed description from her memory. Do I need to roll for that?
No.
For that? Okay.
No, because you specifically said that you sat there and you took in every detail you could.
Yep.
And it's only been like maybe a few weeks, so she
All
leans
right.
back in her throne and she puts her hand on her thing, kind of thinking. Auralia. The name is not familiar to me. She looks over to the other guy. He sits there and he kind of shakes his head.
I misheard that as shave, so for a second it was like...
Yeah. She sits there and she stands up and she approaches all of you. She's about 10 feet away from you at this point. Tell me. You would have mentioned why you were there beforehand, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I said that I would have
Right,
mentioned that within the summary.
Okay. All right. So she sits there and she approaches you. I'm aware of your various factions and their presence within my kingdom. Go and explain to them what you saw, but keep that name here. No one else is to know of it.
I assume you mean Zimber, yes?
Yes. The fewer people who know of him, the better.
Scribble.
All of I just silently nod.
Just his name, Grand Power, is what she has in a notebook.
What did you write in your notebook?
Just his name, Grand Power.
No.
Or had power.
Zimba's. No. Well, he comes from an era when chromatic dragons were more vicious. If news of his return, even potential return, were to surface, I cannot guarantee that there are not those that would aid in his return. He
Well,
must, he must not be brought back. The price we paid for the price we paid to kill him the first time. I do not think we could pay again.
Scribble.
I suppose then it is good that we had not made mention of this Zimber to anyone beyond your. What was that dragon's name again?
Leela.
Leela. Beyond Leela and yourself now.
Good.
We just assume that this is probably matters that need be under wraps given the situation.
Indeed.
Hmm.
I will send word to your various leaders. I do not want. I will. I doubt any of them would. So I doubt any of them would allow for such a lackluster explanation. But I will send word ahead of you to your leaders. You, 5, will be the one. I will make sure that you are the ones to deal with this. I will also make sure to provide you with certain amenities. Gear, if you should require it. You don't exactly strike me as the most seasoned of individuals, but I suppose given the circumstances, I will have to take what I can get.
Hyde's notebook.
Olivine just sort of gives her a wry smile. You will not be too far off. Much of us are, well,
Hyde's not.
quite new at this.
Sorry, Hyde was what?
Hyde's notebook says, it flew, its skeletal body, carrying the necromancer. What does that tell us?
It at the very least tells us that she either cannot teleport, or that the creature itself was incompatible with any such spell. Either way, I will send word to my metallic hand to gather information. Maybe we can pinpoint where they are and stop this before it becomes more of an issue.
Ask Priscilla, question.
Yes.
Does Priscilla remember which direction they flew?
No, because they went up through the... Essentially, there was a hole in the ceiling. They went up, and then they pretty much disappeared. Like,
okay.
you saw them fly off, to the east, but they could have just as easily gone east and then, like, once they were out of, like, visual range, gone south. So you
Right.
have no real idea.
Okay.
We know that they wouldn't be in the west.
Yeah, because, I mean, that would just circle back around. Anyway. In his current state, no. He's been dead for over 800... He's been dead for 800 years. It's difficult to say what he would still be capable of. It also depends on to what extent she has brought him back. I doubt that she would have simply fled if she had brought him back in his entirety.
Wasn't Zimber a king?
Yes.
He was.
Pardon, your Majesty, but was Zimber not a king? A male?
He was. Why?
I believe you referred to said king as she.
Oh no, she was referring to the sorceress.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Minor confusion.
Okay, never mind. Yeah.
Disregard.
Okay, just
Yeah.
disregard. Yeah, disregard that. Just fucking. There we go. Time rewind.
Unfortunately, I do not think, as much as I would love to be able to belt as much magical equipment to you as I could, That would raise suspicions. Any requests you have for gear will have to be more mundane. At least for the time being.
I would have a humble request.
What?
And she reaches into her pouch, the like a smaller like sewn in pouch,
Mhm.
and she takes out the gemstone. This, I mean the weird one, not the one that she bought.
Yeah, the glowy one.
Yeah, and she says, Leela said that the capital might be able to help with whatever this is.
She sits there, and do you hand it to her?
Alongside with the string as well, explaining what both of them are and what happened
Okay.
to the gemstone.
She sits there and she takes a look at the stone. Hmm. It certainly is strange, but
Is there something?
I believe there may be, but I'm not certain what it is. Hmm. Perhaps. Hmm. Yes.
Scribble.
She hands it back to you. To the east, you will find a group of to the east. There has been an individual who has been rather disruptive. She has been arrested by my guards several times for being a nuisance. One of my guards informed me that she had a strange stone similar to this.
Huh?
She's free now, but perhaps you would be better off asking her.
There are more?
Apparently.
Thank you. And she backs off. And um without really not much of a sign, she greets her molders.
As for the string, she sits there and she looks at it. If you
Wow.
want, if you'd like, I can have my magisters look into this. It appears to be a mundane string to me, but perhaps with a bit more experimentation, we may be able to glean some information.
Considering the nature of where it came from, I would assume that somebody adept at scrying may have use of this.
She hands it off to the dude.
Crying?
Hmm. You have a point, little halfling. Scrying involves, well, I suppose you could call it magically spying on an individual.
Then
Could be used to grant much insights in regards to their positions, their general whereabouts, or maybe even exactly where they are, depending on the caster. It was a good idea that you grabbed that string. It could be very valuable.
Indeed. As for why this necromancer would want an audience, I suspect it is because Zimba was arrogant. She may have believed that he would have wanted an audience for his return.
She said something as such, though I suspect that, given what you said, that may be why. Like, this woman just kept going on in regards to this dragon being the one true king, the true ruler, and so on. It was, dare I say, that Had I not known any better, I would assume this woman crazy, but she's just simply that devoted to her goal, it would seem. Concerningly so, considering her capability.
She is crazy. Zimba was a madman. He once I suppose since you're going to be dealing with this problem, you should at least know something about what you're up against.
Well, any information is appreciated, Your Majesty.
She returns
thank
to her
you.
throne. She returns to her throne, sits down. Zimba once ruled these lands, much in the way that I do, but with more of a... He allowed his people, chromatic dragons, to run rampant. His was a rule not of peace, but of fear. Should he return, I fear it may return to such times.
Was he that powerful?
When we fought him, I was younger. Not as strong as I was. We stormed the castle with over a dozen of us, many of which were older, stronger than myself. I was the only one who made it out of that mess alive. There are not many people that I can claim. There are not many creatures in this world, if any, at least on the material plane, that could claim to match my strength, especially now. Zimba, even after all this time, would probably be the only one I would consider my better in this world.
Your Majesty, you had mentioned you had paid a heavy price to stop him. Is this in regards to those that were lost in this attack, or is there something more that was lost, or paid, rather, in bringing him down?
Roll insight.
Only other one?
Everyone can.
Yay.
Yeah, good luck trying to beat fucking her in her deception.
It's not necessarily deception. It's just
There you go.
Aha!
Natural 20 on him. Okay, cool.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you, Fundry. There's a reason I tend to like you more than Avery.
Fucking what?
Okay.
9.
Dirty 20 on my end.
Okay.
Stick, you know?
You hear that, Avery?
As she says this, you notice something. You're not sure what it is, but for a moment you swear you see like just a glint of sadness in her eyes. But she sits there and she says, "We paid many different prices in many different ways. The 12 that were with me, they were amongst the strongest creatures I've ever known. Humans and dragons. Not to mention all the countless innocent lives that were ended by his reluctance or refusal to back down. Many people died. Not all of us fighters.
What did she say? Sorry, I missed part of that.
She said many people died, not
Gotcha.
all of them fighters.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I apologize for the question. I just was trying to just make sure if it would maybe something pertinent to know, given that we will be looking further into this going forward.
Yes. Hopefully, information on him will not be required. But if it is, Send word to me. I will tell you what I can.
We shall be sure to do that.
It will take me. It should take me only but a week to get a hold of my chromatic and metallic hands. Hopefully, in that time, they've gathered some information. Meet me back here in 1 week's time. We will discuss where to go from there.
Thank you for your assistance, Your Majesty.
I'm aware of what happened in Varn. We are looking into it. We have not yet found any of the culprits. But I assure you that when we do, they will pay for what they have done. Thank you, I suppose, for bringing this to light. It is a good thing that there was someone there to see what happened. At least now we can take steps to hopefully prevent his return.
Yes, I do hope. I only hope that our information was brought to you timely in order to move quickly.
Well, we shall find out soon.
Also, the way that the freaking crystal on the staff of Auralia, the way it worked, was that like included? Did she react to that like method in any way?
She's not familiar with it.
I was gonna say we probably and Eben Emron probably would have mentioned that.
Yeah.
Okay, just
Yeah.
making sure.
Yeah.
That would have been in the summary there.
She would not have reacted like uniquely to it. Like,
Okay.
So she sits there and she stands up. Now go speak to your various factions. She hands each of you a, like, it looks like a wood. It's like a wooden token almost, with like very like harsh scratches on it. She hands one of them to each of you. Hand this to any of the attendants out front. It should get you any equipment you may need. Now, I believe you should go to your various leaders and explain the situation to them. I have preparations to make myself.
Nods. Well, it was a pleasure meeting your Majesty. Unfortunate that we bring such ill news. Though, thank you very much for your time.
Yes. Good day to you all. And do try to enjoy the city, at least a little, before you leave. I suspect things may become rather busy for you here shortly. As you begin to leave Abenamran, you can hear her speak to the other guy that was there. You don't make out exactly what she you hear her say, "Tell Ace I need to speak with him. That crystal has me. Well, perhaps he will understand what's going on with it."
A little before that happens, as everyone begins to leave, Aisha stand there for a second, then she just starts realizing that everyone's going, and then just awkwardly salutes the queen, and then goes out.
Alright, and where in here would be my faction?
Just a moment. So I feel that now is probably a good place to stop, take a break before you all split up to your various places. So you need to go. You can get something to eat, something to drink. Go smell something nice. I don't know. Go ahead and take care of it. We will meet back here at. Rosie, how long do you think you'll need?
It's been a while since I've eaten. I think I'll fry myself something, so 20 minutes ish.
All right.
So you're gonna